Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to the Asana Sana Yoga Studio. My name is Sana, and you are here this evening. If it's evening for you when you're watching this, I see some of you are. It's definitely evening here. And if you're joining this, it's time for late night yoga. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to focus a little bit on our root chakra. Right now, things are a little crazy in the world, but this will help you to balance in and get your strength up. So as always, get some water, get your blocks. I like to use a scarf as a yoga strap. Let's meet here on the mat and get started. I'm going to take off my glasses. All right, from here, let's start right in the middle of our mat here. We're going to start in a standing position, which is a little different from last week. But as we get into this pose, we're just going to relax and breathe. Relax and breathe. And before we get started, you can keep your eyes closed, you can keep them open. It's entirely up to you. Let's just take 5 grounding deep breaths to get this practice going. Okay, so inhale through your nose. Nice and deep. Hold it at the top for just a moment. Exhale through your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through your nose. Hold it for a moment. Exhale through your mouth. Let's do 3 more. Hands on your belly to help you. That'll help you to fill up your lungs as well. So. Two more. Last one. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Very good. Now, if you have any music you'd like to play, whatever helps you to keep you nice and calm during this yoga workout, whatever you like to play. Personally, I have on some instrumental Carnatic music as I like to keep it Southern Indian for this time of the evening, but whatever's up to you. Whatever music you have, though, start by placing our hands on our belly and gently sway. Very good. Now, I like to bring swaying into my practice as a way to get centered before I start any practice that I do, whether it's a quick yoga practice or whether it's one that's going to be about an hour like today's class. I like to just center myself by feeling the energy and the waves. All right, as we slow down, let's find ourselves in Tadasana, or mountain pose. And we're going to slow down. We're going to inhale our hands up to the sky. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring our arms down, turning towards the right. Let's inhale the hands up. As we're turning, we exhale the hands down, turning towards the left side. Let's do that a few more times. So inhale up, turn to the center, exhale as your hands go down to the right. So again, inhale the hands up to the sky, twist the wrist if you like, exhale, coming back down to the left. So again, inhale the hands up, twisting the wrist, exhaling as we come to the right. Let's do this one last time. Inhale, hands coming up. Hold it, twist the wrist, exhale, bringing the hands down. Wonderful. Let's come back to center. Excellent. Now let's inhale the hands up one more time. This time we're going to drop our right arm, and as we exhale, we're going to just pull ourselves over to the right, sending that arm straight down. Inhale, bringing the arms to a T. Exhale, stretching over to the left. Inhale to a T. Exhale, over to the left. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Very good. And this is our last time. So inhale the hands to a T. And exhale over to the left. All right. Let's roll our shoulders now. Let's roll them going backwards. Waking up those shoulders before we get into our movements. Excellent. Now let's reverse, go in the opposite direction after that last inhale. This is just a nice way to wake everything up right before we get moving. Exhale, coming to stillness. All right, let's inhale, shifting our weight to the left side. We're just going to rotate that knee around one direction. If it's in your balance today, in your practice, if not, you can always stand and rotate your knee with your foot down on the floor, whatever works for you. Now let's opposite direction. Warming up our hip joints. Feeling really good. All right, placing that foot gently down. Let's shift our weight onto our right foot. Pick up our left knee if we can, if it's in our practice, and rotate. Remember, this is perfectly good too. Heck, you can even do this. All warms up the same area, right? Let's slow it down and go the opposite direction. Very, very good. Warming it up. Great. Let's also warm up our wrists as we're shifting around. Let's slow it down. Let's go the opposite direction. You definitely want to warm up your wrists, especially if you're going to go into your typical asanas. You will need to use a little bit of wrist placement, so it'll be nice to warm up your hips just a little bit. Let's warm up those fingers in and out, flexing the hands, grip on grip. Very good. Now let's loosen up those ankles. So just bring your foot out either in front of you or up and this way, and just rotate your ankle one direction. Slowing it down, let's rotate the opposite direction. Very good. Up and down, maybe left to right. Okay, bring that down. Let's bring the left one. Ooh. If you're not like me, you click a little bit while you're doing this, but it happens. It's all good. Opposite direction, very good. Maybe up and down, left and right. Also, let's squeeze those toes maybe a little bit. Squeeze in, out. Very good. We should all be so much more kinder on our feet, to be honest with you. All right. I hope you're feeling warmed up now. I'm going to crack my back a little bit because we're going to get started. So let's meet each other at the top of the mat. I'm going to move my blocks out of the way here. We're going to get started with our easy, simple sun cells, pardon me. So we're starting at the top of the mat here. Let's find ourselves in Tadasana. And before we get started, let's talk about alignment. It's always very important to me. Whenever we're in a generic default pose, it's going to be hip width apart. If we're standing, even if we're sitting, we're going to keep our knees hip width apart. And to do that, you're just going to take a fist and maybe just kind of eyeball it between your feet, between the balls of your feet there. From there, you want to make sure all of your weight is shifted back so that you're not standing forward or you're not standing too far back. You have all of your weight directly situated over your ankles. Then from there, we're going to roll up to the knees, unlocking those knees. So no standing like this. Unlock your knees, make sure they're nice and supple and soft. We're going to come up to here, making sure our hips and our pelvis, just tilting it down so that our pelvis, which is shaped like a bowl, doesn't spill. Remember that. Your pelvis is shaped like a bowl. You don't want to spill any water out of your pelvic bowl. Coming up, we're going to come to our ribs. We're just going to push them back over so they're over our hip bones, rolling our shoulders up and back, down, sending the shoulder blades down our back. We have our arms, and then with our head, we're just going to make sure that our ears are located over our shoulders. So this is how we're going to start Tadasana. All right, coming to the front of the mat, let's inhale those hands up. We're going to come into a slight chair pose. Exhale, we're going to send ourselves forward into this forward fold. And before we keep going, we're just going to move our hips out just a little bit. I like to ease into my yoga practice before I get going because it's nothing like being stiff and then all of a sudden moving your body. All right, as we slow down, we're going to bring our hips slowly to stillness. We're going to inhale, coming halfway up, looking forward. Exhale. Let's place our hands on the mat, and we can step ourselves back into our plank pose. Inhale, exhale as we go down into chaturanga. Inhale, coming up. I like to do right now kind of a sphinx pose, something that's a little easy, but you're welcome to come into that upward dog. Inhale, tuck those toes. Exhale, sending your hips back into the sky. We're coming into our downward dog. And from here, you just want to go ahead and walk those feet in and out here. Again, we're going to wake up our body, wake up our fascia lines. Even if you've been moving around all day long, we're doing movements that you probably haven't done earlier today. So it's best to make sure that you keep yourself nice and limber and warm up. All right, let's bring our feet to stillness. We're going to inhale, bringing that right knee forward. Exhale, we're going to send it up into the sky, three-legged dog. Inhale, placing it down on the mat. Let's make sure we have our good balance. As we inhale, exhale, sending those arms up into the sky. We're going to exhale, coming into our full warrior one. From here, inhale, sending those legs up, your hands up and down. We're going to place our hands back on the mat, straighten that front leg, stepping back, knees just chin chaturanga. Inhale, coming into our upward dog. Let's tuck those toes. Inhale, exhale, sending our hips straight back into the sky. We're going to inhale that left knee forward. Exhale it to the sky, placing your foot back on the mat in between your front hands, fixing your posture as you need to. Inhale those hands up. Exhale as we come into our warrior one. From here, inhale, straightening your front leg. Let's exhale, placing your hands on the mat, taking a step back. Inhale, exhale, coming up, upward dog. Tuck your tails through as you inhale. We're going to exhale, sending our hips into the sky. And from here, we're going to step or walk forward as we come into our forward fold. From here, we're going to inhale, coming halfway flat back. Exhale those hands to the floor. Let's inhale, coming all the way up to the sky. Exhale into prayer pose. Great. That was our first one. A couple more to go. Let's do this. All right. Let's come back into Tadasana. Inhale, centering ourselves. Let's inhale, exhale, sending those eyes up to the sky. Exhale, bending forward, coming into that forward fold. Let's one more time move our hips around, kind of get things loosened up. If you can this time, if it's within your practice, try to see if you can kind of fit your hands underneath your feet and kind of stretch a little bit. So we're just going to up and down. You can either take your peace fingers, stick them in between your toes, or you can stand on your hands a little bit on your fingers. But we're just going to end up loosening up our knees and our hips if this is in your practice today. If it's not, you're more than welcome to hang out this way. You can sway your hips or you can just hang. All right, now that we're here, let's inhale, halfway flat back. Exhale, placing your hands onto the mat. We're going to take a step or a hop back, depending on your practice. Inhale, exhale as we go down. Coming up, we're going to inhale into that upward dog. From here, let's take a deep breath in, curling those toes. We're going to exhale, sending our hips straight into the sky. Let's walk out our feet one more time. You can feel free to lift your feet up this time if you'd like. Just giving a little bit more mobility into your ankles. So from here, let's inhale that right foot up into the sky. Exhale, placing it between our feet. Let's adjust our pose if we need to. Inhale those hands up. And instead of this time going into warrior one, we're just going to exhale, sending the right hand forward, dropping that back foot 45 degrees, coming into warrior two. Make sure when you're doing your warrior two, I'm going to hang out for a second, that your knee doesn't go over your toes and that you keep your knee pointed in the direction of your middle toe. So you don't want your knees to collapse on you because we cannot regenerate our knees. Do not do that. So bouncing along, if you have music you're playing, go for that. From here, let's inhale, coming forward, turning that back foot to exhale, placing our hands on the mat again as we take a step back. Inhale, holding for plank for just a moment. Exhale, coming down in that chaturanga, coming up. Exhale, down dog. Let's inhale from here, curling those back toes. You send your hips up into the sky once more, and we're going to do the same thing with our left side. So knee up to the nose, exhale that foot to the sky, placing it in between your hands. Let's adjust our stance if we need to. Inhale our hands up, exhale, send that left hand forward, coming into warrior two. Now let's go from here and warm up the hips just a little bit. Just bounce a little bit to the music. You don't have to bounce much. You don't have to bounce at all. Pure practice, of course. Wonderful. Let's inhale, placing the hands down on the mat. We're going to exhale, taking a step back, coming down into our plank. Inhale up, looking up into our downward dog. From here, we're going to curl our toes. Exhale, stepping back, sending our bottoms into the air. From here, we're going to step, hop, or jump forward, coming up into our halfway fold. Inhale up, halfway. Exhale your hands. Let's go all the way up. How do we feel? Doing good, I hope. If you please excuse me just for a hot sec. Just need to make sure we do not go over time. We're doing good. All right, let's get back to the top of the mat again. We're going to inhale our hands up to the sky. Exhale, coming down into that forward fold. From here, we're going to inhale, half back. Exhale, hands flat on the mat. Taking a step back, we're going to come into that plank. From here, inhale, exhale, coming down. Inhale, hands up, coming into the upward dog. From here, let's curl our back toes. Inhale, nice and deep. Exhale as we shoot our hips up into the sky, coming into that downward dog. From here, let's take our right foot, sending it up into the sky, placing it down onto the mat. We're going to exhale, bringing our hands up. But instead of this time coming into our warrior two or our warrior one, we're going to come a little bit into our exalted warrior. So I like to put my left hand on the back leg and just inhale, exhale as I open myself up. It's a hard extending pose. It feels really nice. Okay. From here, inhale, let's come forward, placing our hands back down on the mat, taking a step back, coming down into our plank. Inhale, coming up into that upward dog. We're going to curl our feet back. Exhale, sending our hips up into the air, coming into that downward dog. Let's inhale the foot up into the sky. Left this time. Exhale, coming down. We're going to do the same thing on this side. That right hand on the back. Inhale, exhale as we come into our exalted warrior. I like to just kind of bend and pulse my leg as I go. And remember, this is your practice. If you'd like to stay a little longer on the other side and do it, go right ahead. Catch up when you can. Inhale. Let's bring our hands back down to the mat. Stepping back. We're going to inhale, exhale ourselves down. Inhale into that upward dog. Curling the toes. We're going to send our hips right back up into the sky here. Let's just hang out here for a second. Working those knees again, bending, feeling real good. Let's come forward into that upward dog once more. And really, it's just placing your hips down on the mat, curling your toes. Inhale, exhale, sending your hips back down. Let's do that one more time. So we're here in our downward dog. We're going to inhale ourselves into an upward dog. As we exhale. Let's take a deep inhale. Exhale, sending our hips into the sky. We're going to bend our legs, skip, hop, jump to the top of the mat. We're going to inhale, coming halfway forward fold. Exhale, coming there. Back down again into our forward fold. We're going to inhale, bring our hands up into the sky. Exhale, and now we're here in prayer pose. Let's do this one last time before we get into the meat of things. Wonderful. Lastly, to warm us up, standing at the top of the mat, we're in here to Tadasana. Let's inhale the hands up. Come into the chair pose as we exhale, almost diving down. Diving. Come into our forward fold. Inhale, coming halfway flat back. We're going to exhale, placing our hands on the mat, taking a step or jump back into your plank. Chaturanga as we come on down. Inhale, coming up into the upper dog. And curl our toes. Exhale, sending our hips back. From here, let's maybe readjust here so you feel a little bit more secure. From here, instead of going straight into our last warrior sequence, we're just going to hold ourselves here for just a moment. And maybe if you can turn a little bit, we're going to turn towards the right. If it is within your practice, turning your feet flat to the ground, we're just going to bring that right hand up into the air, bringing that right foot over, coming into a nice wild woman, really opening up in the practice tonight. Inhale, it's coming forward. Let's do the same on the other side. Let's take a step back with that left foot. Send your left hand into the sky. A little bit of wild woman for the night. Great. Inhale, coming back into our downward dog. Inhale that foot, right foot up into the sky, coming forward. Inhale, and we're coming back into warrior one. Inhale, placing the hands in front of the mat. Take a step back. Exhale down. Inhale up. Curl your back toes. Bending your hips back. Do the same with the left. Exhale up into the sky. Placing it flat on the mat. Coming up. Warrior one. And shorten your pose if you need to. Excellent. Hands down. Plank. Inhale up. Curl your toes. Exhale. Into the sky. Hop, skip, or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale. Halfway, flat back. Exhale. And then inhale all the way up. And now we're back in prayer pose. How do you feel? I know for a fact that I certainly feel very warmed up. And I'm super excited that you all are here today because I have a fun I know when I stay up in the middle of the night, I personally like to move a little bit more than usual. So let's get started on our next set of the flow. From here, let's start into the middle of the mat. We're just also going to go ahead and ground our feet out. Now, I'm not quite sure if you can see my feet, but what we're going to do is make sure we're hip width apart as always. We're going to bring our toes up, exhaling, bringing them down to the mat. It's going to inhale, kind of curling your toes up towards your ankles. Exhale, bringing them flat on the mat. As I said earlier in this broadcast, I feel like we should be a little bit more kind to the feet. So every now and again, we're going to sneak in some feet things into the yoga. Although saying feet things probably isn't the right correct words, but you get what I'm saying. So let's bring those toes up and down. We're going to do that for a few more breaths. And it's just simple, bringing the toes up. And remember, don't lock your knees. You want to keep yourself nice and loose. Excellent. All right, for this last one, we're going to bring our toes up. And when we bring them down, we're just going to grip the mat for a moment and then relax. Grip. Grip the mat. Inhale and relax. Doing good. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, grip the mat and relax. Very nice. From here, the next part we're going to do is we're going to individually lift each toe off the floor. It is a little bit tricky, but I promise it'll feel really nice. So one, we'll do one foot at a time. How about that? Big toe on the right foot, up. Then we try to the middle toe, and then the ring finger, I suppose, the third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, and then put them back down on the mat. So one at a time. So let's try this on the left side. So left big toe, middle toe, third toe, ring toe, pinky toe. And backwards and do it again. Pinky toe, ring toe, third toe, middle toe, big toe. Go to the right side. Pick it up. Big toe, middle toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. Last time. Pinky toe, fourth toe, third toe, middle toe, big toe. Finish up on the left, shall we? Lift up the left, big toe, middle, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. This is so hard. And then opposite way. Pinky toe, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, big toe. Excellent. Now, let's get started. Let's inhale our hands up. We're going to bring our hands into prayer pose overhead. I realize you can't really see my hands, but it's totally fine. You don't need to see them. From here, we're going to inhale, exhale. We're just going to bend the top half of our body over to the right side. Excellent. Inhale, exhale, bringing our body over to the left side. Now, For these poses, you want to make sure you keep your head and your biceps glued to your ears. For me, since I'm wearing a headset, I'm going to have to keep my arms a little bit out so I don't accidentally turn off the headset. But you want to make sure you keep things glued to your ears. Now we're in central. We're going to inhale one more time. Exhale over to the right. We're just going to hold here for a few moments. I like to call this swaying in the breeze. Helps me to remember to unlock my knees. All right, let's inhale, come into center. Exhale, over to the right side, swaying those legs, unlocking those knees, feeling great. Okay, coming up into the middle, we're going to exhale, take a big step apart. We're going to come into goddess pose with cactus arms. Excellent. We're going to hold this pose for a few breaths. This is a good grounding pose, and it's also really nice to do to kind of help get your legs on and off here. Waking up that movement. Go ahead and move around as you like. If you even like and it's in your practice today, you can close your eyes and bring your hands into prayer pose as you move your legs around. Just remember, we're trying to warm up the body, move the body around. If you have on music that you're playing, feel free to sway with your music. It feels really nice. It's late night yoga, guys. Anything goes. All right, let's bring ourselves to stillness, our arms back up into cactus arms. We're going to inhale, exhale, coming out to a 5-pointed star. Let's hold this for a moment too. Let's just feel the air moving around. Feels really nice. Relaxing. Let's come into stillness once more. We're going to inhale. We're going to turn our left foot facing forward, and we're going to exhale, turning that right foot to the right. You think you know what's coming. Inhale, let's send those hips to the back. Exhale as we come into our triangle pose. If it is not in your practice today, feel free to go ahead and grab yourself a block or a book, placing it on the inside of your right foot, and you can place your hand right down on the top of your block. You can even shorten your stance if that feels better. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. Furthermore, if it's in your practice, feel free to turn your hand up, gazing at your left hand. Turning your face, gazing at your left hand. All right, from here, let's inhale our head or face back into center. I'm going to move my block out of the way. Feel free to hold on to it if you need it. So what we're going to do from here is exhale, bringing our hand down, turning our back foot. We're exhaling, coming into pyramid pose. Now for myself, I absolutely will need blocks for the pyramid pose. And you just want to put them on the either side of your front foot. Straightening out that knee and shortening your stance if necessary. We're going to come into pyramid. Make sure that you keep your upper thighs. Make sure you keep your hips centered by imagining that there's a coin or a marble at the top of your thighs. And you're just going to come forward. We're going to hold this for a few moments, breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Coming this slow isn't in your practice today. You can always come halfway. From here, let's take a step back with our left foot and then just bend the knee, coming down into a low lunge. Whichever is in your practice today, you may either extend your leg out, coming into a lizard, give it a few moments, or you can start here and I'll cue you to come into a lizard later. So just hold this pose. And a fun tip for each time you exhale, see if you can maybe push your hips down a little bit more into this pose. But remember, Start to bring your foot out a little bit more. You definitely don't want your knees to come over your toes. So, keep that back foot straight as we come into that low lunge. And if it is within your practice today, you may come down into a lizard pose. From here, let's inhale our hands up into the sky. So take one last exhale into this low lunge. Very good. Straighten out that front leg. I'm going to move my blocks out of my way. Placing my hands down on the mat. I'm going to shorten my stance once more. Turning my right foot forward as I turn my left foot back. I'm going to come up into a forward fold. Inhaling and then exhaling as I bend that right foot and then curl my left foot toes up. Coming into Skandasana, side lunge. If it is within your practice, you may welcome your hands into prayer pose. If it isn't, feel free to take your blocks, use them ever you may need. You can place them under your bottom. You can use them to balance. And let's hold. And make sure you keep that left leg engaged. It isn't going to just hang. It's going to keep it engaged. From here, let's bring that left foot back into the mat. Readjusting, we're going to come up into that kind of halfway fold here, shortening our stance just a little bit. We're going to inhale, dropping our back, our bottom, if you will, turning out our feet if we need to, coming into that Yogi Squat or Malasana. And also, again, if you need your blocks, go ahead and use them. You want to make sure you're standing up and tight with your chest open, shoulders back and down. And hold here. If this isn't in your pose today, you can also do this pose on your knees, which would look like this. Just breathe. All right, from here, let's inhale and exhale our hands down to the mat. Leaning forward, we're going to push our hips up just a little bit, coming into that wide-legged forward fold. As we turn, we're going to turn our attention to our left side by coming down into that left squat, curling our toes on the right side up towards the knee. We're coming into that side Skandasana. Side. Here we go. Ooh. On one side, sometimes I can balance. On other sides, not so much. See how we do it today. Every day is a little different. All right, from here, let's bring our right foot back down to the mat as we come into that wide-legged fold to adjust. We're going to turn back this way. This time, we're going to drop our right knee to the mat, coming into that low lunge. The important part of this low lunge is to remember that you keep your back leg straight and parallel to the mat, and that you don't bring your front knees over your toes. Good to go. And if it isn't your practice today, feel free to come down into a lizard pose by dropping forward and bringing your arms to either a block or the mat. All right, from here, let's inhale, straightening out that front leg. Let's peel those toes off the mat and stretch a lunge in the other direction. From here, let's place our toes back on the mat. We're going to curl our back toes up, placing our foot coming forward. We're going to straighten that leg coming up. Straighten your front leg as well. We want both of our feet pointing in the same direction, coming into pyramid pose. Just hold here. And remember, if it's not in your practice, shorten your stance a little bit. That generally helps. And also use some blocks. So no shames and props. All right, from here, let's begin to shift our weight forward as we rotate that back foot facing forward. We're going to place our block, if we're using them, in the inside of our foot. Turning, we're going to inhale, exhale, turning ourselves open, coming into our triangle pose. And if it is within your practice, you may inhale and exhale, turning your head completely towards the sky. From here, let's inhale, turning that left foot forward. We're going to come into that kind of forward fold once more, but we're not going to stay here long. We're going to inhale, coming up, and then exhale, extended 5-point star. Really feel it. Walk your feet in just a bit. Let's inhale, curling forward, coming down into a ball. Holding tight. Exhale, coming forward again. Extended 5-pointed star. Inhale, come forward a little bit, just a bit. Exhale. Star once more. It just feels nice. Now let's inhale, exhale, coming down into that Yogi Squat. And I'm just going to throw my block here because I am feeling it today to Goddess pose. So here we are. We're just going to hold here for a few breaths. In fact, if you're not feeling this today, you can go ahead and just stand straight. You get the same beautiful feeling. Same grounding pose. Same heart opener. Let's inhale our hands up to the sky. Exhale them windmilling, coming back into prayer pose. Excellent. Good. From here, let's stay in prayer pose. Recenter yourself on the mat if you need to. We're just going to keep going right through. Let's inhale the hands up to the sky. Exhale, let's lean our body over to the right. And this time, if it's within your practice, you can inhale, exhale, your face to the sky. This time we're gazing at our left bicep. Let's inhale, our face looking forward. Exhale. Inhale, coming to center. We're going to exhale this time, bending to the left side. Once again, if it is within your practice, let's inhale. Exhale, turning your face this time, looking at your right bicep. Inhale, coming to center. Exhale, we're going to come into that a 5-pointed star once more. We're just going to extend ourselves all the way out. And we're going to do those a couple more times. So we're going to inhale, stretching our body. Let's exhale, sending our hips back. You can either stop here at 5-pointed star, halfway, or you can keep yourself going all the way down. Again, if you have a block, use a block. We're just going to hold here for a moment. Sometimes, even for me, doing this is a little too much. So having a block handy is really, really helpful. And if you'd like, you can move yourself by bringing your hips forward and pushing them back. Gently, of course, and it's only if it's within your practice. All right, from here, let's slow it down if you're moving. We're going to inhale, bringing ourselves up halfway if you haven't gone all the way halfway. And we're going to exhale, just bringing that right hand to the mat and that left hand up into the sky. Holding yourself steady. Again, use a block if you need it. From here, let's inhale, exhale, turning your hand up to your hand up that's extended to the sky. If it's within your practice, we're going to hold for just a moment. And with that inhale, we're going to exhale, looking right back down at our hand. Inhale, exhale, bringing that hand down on the mat. Take your left hand, placing it right in the same spot where that right hand was in the center of your mat. We're going to inhale that hand up to the sky. Exhale. Wonderful. And if it is within your practice, go ahead and inhale. Exhale, looking at your hand that's up into the sky. Let's inhale, bringing that hand and our faces back to the mat. We're going to turn our right foot into the direction of the right. Bringing, if we need a block or our hand into the inside of that foot. Inhale, twisting up, coming into our pyramid pose. Again, shorten your stance if it doesn't feel so good. We're going to hold here, pyramid pose. From here, let's turn facing that right foot, bringing our hand down. We're going to drop our back knee, our left knee, coming into that lunge we have here. Let's inhale our hands up. Exhale, we're going to come into prayer pose in the front. Inhaling, we're going to turn towards our left, and we're just going to bend forward, placing that knee on our right knee here. Exhale, twist. If it is within your practice, you may inhale and exhale your hands fully open, coming into that full heart opener. Again, please feel free to use a block if it is within your practice today. Move this out of the way so you can see my hand. Let's inhale that hand down to the mat. We're going to curl that back toe. We're going to come round into our forward front fold once more. And again, we're going to Bring ourselves down, curling up that left foot. We're going to come into side lunge. I should just say side lunge. My Sanskrit is not on point tonight. We're going to come into our side lunge. Hold here for a few breaths. Right, from here, let's drop that left foot. Coming through, we're just going to transition over to the left side instead of hanging out in that middle pose. We've hung out there enough. Let's bring those right toes off the mat, hang out in the side lunge pose. All right, let's bring our right toes down to the mat. We're going to just turn over to our left side, adjusting as we did before, shortening our stance if we need to, dropping that right knee now, coming into the lunge. Let's inhale the hands up into the sky once more, bringing them down in prayer pose. If it was in your practice, go ahead and inhale. Let's twist ourselves to the right this time. Remember to keep that back leg parallel and to keep your hips squared to the front of the mat. Once more, if it's in your practice, go ahead and inhale those hands fully open, coming into the full twist, heart opener pose. Let's inhale our hands back down to the mat. Let's curl that back toe, pushing up. We're going to come up into our triangle pose. From here, let's inhale, coming up. We're going to heel toe our feet, coming back together. Exhaling our hands down into prayer pose. Excellent. Let's ground here for a moment as we come and find ourselves into easy seat. Hero's pose, which is on our knees. Excellent. From here, we're just going to ground ourselves just a little bit as we prepare for our Shavasana. I'm going to come to the bottom of my mat here just so you can see what I'm doing here. But as we're in Hero's pose, I'm going to ask if you can just bring yourselves up into tabletop and exhale, coming down into Child's pose. And walk your fingers out a little bit farther so we can come into an extended Child's pose. Holding here for a few moments. Let's walk our fingers over to the right side. Exhaling, stretching out that left side body. Let's inhale here, walking our hands back over to our left side, stretching out that right side body. Let's come back into the middle side here. Let's come right back up into tabletop. Bring our knees forward. Coming back into Hero's pose once more. We're going to extend our hands behind us, just coming into a gentle fish pose. We're holding here for a moment, just opening our chest. If it is within your practice, you may come up onto your knees and grab your ankles, coming into a camel pose, dropping that back head. Inhale, wherever we are, coming back into the hero's pose. Let's make our way into easy seat. Inhale those hands up, and I'm going to face you. Inhale those hands up into prayer. Exhale, let's bring it forward. Great. Wonderful. So, how do you feel? Relaxed, I hope, because the best part of the class is coming up, and that's when we get into our Shavasana. So, from here in easy pose, let's find ourselves laying down on the mat comfortably. And if you'd like, you have blankets or pillows, feel free to use them now. We're just going to come right back. Inhale the hands up and over. Stretch it out. Exhale, coming into our corpse pose. I'm going to turn this way so you guys can see me a little bit better. From here, you're just going to, I invite you to flutter your eyes closed. Take 3 deep breaths as we center. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Relax your hands and your feet. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now relax your legs and your arms. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Relax your head, your torso, coming into your Shavasana. You know, often I have students who talk to me a little bit about their at-home practice, and they often find themselves skipping Shavasana. You shouldn't. It's the best part. It's almost like a reset. And for those of you who aren't sure what you should be doing in your Shavasana, just breathing and relaxing. Because remember, it's only yoga. If you feel like your mind is wandering or you're not sure where to focus during the Shavasana, allow me to introduce a mantra. I am complete. I am whole. I am enough. Let's say it again. I am complete. I am whole. I am enough. I am complete. I am whole. I am enough. And as we come into the end of our Shavasana, I invite you to invite movement into your body by wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, maybe squeezing one cheek of your bottom, squeezing the other, maybe moving your shoulders around, your ankles, your wrists. However you like to do it, just introduce a little bit of movement up to your body before we come up to seated. Do a nice stretch. Inhale, exhale. Your eyes closed. If you can roll to one side, whichever side works for you. We're going to come in this resting child's pose here, this resting baby pose, just for a moment. And as safely and securely as you can, eyes closed preferably, find yourself making your way to easy seat, crisscrossed applesauce. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, bringing your hands down into prayer pose. And if you haven't already, go ahead and flutter your eyes open. How are you feeling? I, myself, am feeling very relaxed. And I've had such a wonderful time with you in this space. Thank you for allowing me to join you this evening. And I'm grateful for you to joining me this evening because no one likes to do yoga alone. So I will close this class with saying, as always, be the light that you wish to see in the world and see the light that you wish to see in the world, because I guarantee you it is out there. And that's it. Saying in that, I'm going to inhale my hands up, exhale to my third eye, kneeling and bowing towards you in your beautiful light and precious energy. I close my class with saying to you, as always, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Have a great day. See you next time.